Today on Homefront, hope for some veterans who are struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder or depression. The Department of Veterans Affairs is conducting psychedelic-assisted therapy trials for vets struggling with mental health issues. With an average of 20 veterans dying by suicide every day, this is welcome news for many who support this unconventional treatment. I want to bring in Marine Corps veteran and Executive Director of Healing Breakthrough, Juliana Mercer. Juliana, thanks for being with us. Your group has been advocating for this therapy in Washington. You yourself have undergone this therapy. Tell us about your experience with it and how you think this could impact the veteran suicide crisis.
Hi, Brianna. It's so great to be here with you. So my experience was one of seeking for solutions for the veteran community, not just for myself, but for others, and really hitting a brick wall and finding solutions that actually worked. Found myself in a place where I needed help and was able to access psychedelic assisted therapy outside of the country where it's not illegal. So I had to leave the country. But the treatment that I received was almost overnight instant relief from 20 years of collected trauma and grief. And when I woke up the next day after having this experience, knew that it was a solution I had been looking for my veteran brothers and sisters.
I want people to understand how your story is one that we hear so many times from veterans, right? They will say almost exactly what you just said. They're traveling out of the country to do this. And I think people have a lot of questions about it because it is unconventional. But what kind of tools could the huge system of the VA unlock when it comes to this kind of treatment?
Yeah, so it's encouraging that the VA has been doing research on both psilocybin and MDMA since 2022. There's a dozen trials that are happening within the VA nationwide, and the VA is funding additional trials here in the future. The reason that they're doing that is because they see that there's great promise in these modalities. It's not just a medication, it's therapy in conjunction with this medication that produces just incredible results. MDMA, for example, their phase 3 FDA trials showed that it was 71% effective in eliminating the PTSD diagnosis. The VA has 660,000 veterans in their system that suffer from PTSD, and no solutions that can say that they eliminate the PTSD diagnosis. So you can imagine that this is something that they're excited about.
And you talk to policy makers. Of course, they have concerns because, like you said, this isn't legal in the U.S. That's why they're looking at it in trials. Talk about the concerns that you've heard from people and their concerns about keeping people safe and what you say to them.
Yeah, I think probably the same reaction that I had when I first heard about these modalities was, the stigma associated with drugs. These are Schedule I substances, which means that there's no medical purpose for them. Well, what we're finding is that there in fact is a medical purpose. And one of those medical purposes is helping with both PTSD, anxiety, and depression in major ways and in ways that we've never seen before. So when I heard the data and the science behind it, I was easily able to quell the misconceptions and the stigma around these drugs as we know them to be, and look at them as actual medications and things that can be used to help people that are suffering from both PTSD and depression.
Yeah, and in our veteran community, I mean, most people they don't serve, right? So they're looking at these numbers when it comes to deaths by suicide. Tell us about the need for finding a solution to cut through that.
Yeah, I spent the last 20 years, actually almost 25 years, looking for solutions for the veteran suicide epidemic and for veteran PTSD. And since 9/11, we've been losing over 6,400 veterans a year here on American soil. If you do the math, by the end of 2025, we'll have lost 160,000 veterans here in the US to suicide. There is a dire need for solutions for veteran PTSD. And these modalities are a bright light at the end of the tunnel for those of us who have been suffering, but also looking for solutions.
Yeah, that cost is incredibly high. Juliana Mercer, thank you so much for talking with us about this. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brianna.
We do want to note for our viewers, if you or anyone that you know are struggling, you can text or call the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988. We'll be right back.